Hey, Charmaine here, and I'm so excited to share with you basically 3 things that really felt important to share today on things I wish I knew sooner. So if you know my background, or you don't, I struggled with my weight for over 20 years. I started struggling, hi Karen, I started struggling with my body image and my weight and feeling like there was something wrong with me when I was about 12 years old. And it wasn't until I was almost 30 that I finally realized, I didn't have the right information. I wasn't approaching weight loss in the right way. And so the 3 things I want to share with you. So the first is all about motivation. So whatever you think when you hear the word motivation, I just want to share that motivation basically means like that you're excited to pursue something on a consistent basis. And the thing I struggled with was I would be able to get started. I would start exercising or start eating healthy, but I wouldn't sustain it. And so motivation is that you do it no matter what, you make it a consistent habit. And I want to share where that motivation comes from, because I used to think, and this was my fatal flaw, I used to think that if I criticized my body and myself enough, it would inspire me and motivate me to get started. Hi, Lori. So I thought if I was like mean enough and mad enough at myself and disgusted enough with my body, then I would get the motivation to exercise and eat healthy. And that made sense in my mind. I'm like, yeah, I got to work harder. I got to be tougher on myself and then I'll get healthy. And I was using this pain and I hated the number on the scale and I hated the way I looked and hated my belly and I hated all these parts of my body. I hated my legs. And I thought that if I was like hard enough on myself, then I would be able to change. And so my motivation was fear-based, it was pain-based, it was negative. And so what I've realized over the last, 7-8 years is that fear-based motivation sometimes is enough to get us started. Like our doctor tells us we have to lose weight for health reasons, or we're so disgusted with the number on the scale that we make a change. That can get us started. Is that pain will push us, but it won't keep us going long term. And so what works better, which I discovered, I actually kind of fluked upon it while I was pregnant with my daughter, which was a huge aha moment for me, was that even when I was pregnant with my daughter, I was still calling myself fat and horrible names, and I was still so mean to myself. And so I had this aha moment during my pregnancy when I came to the realization that if I couldn't even be a little bit nice to myself pregnant, then I was going to have no chance in hell loving myself, and I was going to get to my deathbed still having never loved my body. And that was a big oh, that's so brutal, Charmaine. You're calling yourself fat and you're pregnant and you can't even say one nice thing about your pregnant body. And so it was a big wake-up call for me. And then I started, believe it or not, being a little bit kinder to myself. And what ended up happening throughout my pregnancy and beyond was I actually, when I was nice to myself and said nice loving words to myself and told myself I was worthy and told myself I was doing my best and gave myself appreciation and love, I was actually way more motivated to eat healthy and exercise, because love is the most powerful emotion on earth, bar none. 100%. It's even proven with heart math and all these different studies. Love is about 1,000 times more powerful for motivating us than pain and negativity. And so I started using, my motivation became that I wanted to be an awesome mom and I wanted to live a long life and I wanted to be around for my grandkids. My mom passed away before she got to meet my kids, and I don't want to repeat that. If I want to do everything I can at least to prevent that. So my inspiration now, and I want you to think right now as you're watching, what inspires you to be your best and be in your best health? Is it longevity? Is it looking fit and firm? Is it being able to keep up with kids or grandkids? Because if you're inspired and excited, that's going to be way more motivating than if you're just like, oh, I look gross and I don't like how my clothes fit and my weight is up and my doctor said I have to lose weight. And if it's all negative, it's not going to feel very compelling, if that makes sense. So that was the first thing I learned. One of the biggest game changers was, okay, I got to use inspiration and love to, catalyze change rather than negativity and pain. So that's number 1. So give me a like or a love if that makes sense to you. It's not always easy to do because we are conditioned to not like our bodies. conditioned by society to not like our bodies and to think there's something wrong with us from a very young age. That's actually how the makeup industry and the clothing industry and a lot of industries are built on that. Because if we don't like our body, then we'll buy more lipstick and we'll buy more clothes and we'll buy more pills and potions and we'll buy more things to try to fix ourselves. So it's from a very young age that we get conditioned to not feel like we're enough. And so now we get to choose, okay, yes, I deserve to feel good and I'm going to do it from a place of love. So motivation coming from pain or coming from love. You get to choose, and I promise you love and inspiration is way more powerful and potent and lasting. It'll last you the test of time so you don't get those roller coaster results, okay? So that's the first thing I learned. Another thing I learned, which was game changer as well, was that the all or nothing mentality with food, which is basically in a nutshell, you say, I have to be either perfectly on a diet and eating perfectly, I can't have any treats, or I'm totally off the rails. I'm on the wagon or I'm off the wagon. I'm eating salads and chicken for all my meals, or I'm eating pizza and nachos, but there's no middle path. That's the all or nothing mentality. So if you can relate to the all or nothing mentality, give me a like or a love so I know. And basically, what I found, actually it was my own experience, but it was also working with clients. It was also doing lots of research and reading lots of books and all of these, looking at studies on this, because it's the most prevalent mindset when it comes to weight loss, is that I have to be perfect. I have to be on or I'm off. And what I realized was there was a middle place where I could eat delicious, nutritious foods most of the time, and there was still room for some treats. The wine, the things like that, the nachos that I love, the chicken wings, there's still room for that in moderation, as long as I don't tell myself that I'm like off track and beat myself up. Because when we beat ourselves up for eating chicken wings or nachos or whatever, then our brain gets negative and then we start making more poor choices. But if we say, I'm gonna have nachos tonight and it's all good, my body can take care of it, and I'm gonna eat a little healthier and cleaner tomorrow, and we have this more moderate, loving, go with the flow approach, it actually works way better. But if we say, I have to be on a diet or else I'm off a diet, it doesn't ever work, because you cannot stay on a diet your whole life. That's the truth. So the all or nothing mentality around food and exercise doesn't work. It's the same with exercise, saying I have to be like perfectly getting a 45-hour-long workout every day or else I'll do nothing. That also doesn't make sense, because a 5-minute walk is better than no walk. Eating a little bit of vegetables is better than eating no vegetables. So our brain tricks us to think it has to be all or nothing, but it does not have to be all or nothing, okay? So the first thing I shared was get love and inspiration to inspire your goals instead of fear and feeling not like good enough. The second thing I shared is the all or nothing mindset does not work. And it's really debilitating. It's really the thing that keeps most people stuck in a rut with exercise and weight loss. And food is they have to be perfect or they do nothing at all. And then they do nothing at all because it's impossible to be perfect. So actually, there's a lot more to that topic. Obviously, it's not that easy to just say, okay, I'm going to eat healthy most of the time and treats in moderation and do. That took me quite a few years to master it. And I studied under different emotional eating experts and different dietitians, and I worked with different people to help me get to a point where I could enjoy a piece of pie without guilt and then move on with my day, and it wasn't debilitating. I wasn't feeling guilty and all that stuff. So there is more to it, but I want to just share the idea, just to plant the seed, that all or nothing mentality doesn't work. And if you are one of those people that feels really strongly, I have to be, okay, it's September 1st, I'm going to get back on track. And then, okay, it's October 1st, I'm gonna get back on track, or Monday I'll get back on track, or January I'll start. It's like just start today and do your best today and make small incremental upgrades that'll lead to a huge change. So that's the second thing I learned, was it doesn't have to be this extreme thing where I'm on a diet or I'm off a diet. And then the third thing is just that, if you feel overwhelmed, which I always did, like, how do I even get started? I'm so far from the mark. If you feel debilitated and overwhelmed all the time because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm like exhausted and I'm so busy and I can't even think about adding a workout or some healthy food planning. It just seems so overwhelming. I want you to take a breath, because I get it. I felt like that with my weight and my health many times. I felt like that with my business many times. I felt like that with my house many times. And so the thing I want to share around that is just get started. Don't wait for Monday. Don't wait for September. Don't wait for your kids to be back in school. Don't wait for conditions to be perfect. Because the truth is, conditions are perfect now. You could also say conditions will never be perfect, but I really want to say that, because conditions are either perfect or they're not, but you choose. You know, my kids are, things that I have a lot going on in my life. I have my business, I have my kids, I have my house, I have all these things, and my health is my number one priority. And so all of, work and help keep my house clean and all that stuff, it's secondary to my health. And then it gets a lot easier to get going and keep going. So, if you're feeling overwhelmed, just start with thinking about what is my priority and what is one thing I can do today to move towards that priority. Maybe it's I'm going to drink an extra glass of water, or I'm going to have, I'm not going to have the soda, or I'm going to take the stairs, or I'm going to sign up for an exercise class. Like, just do one thing today, and don't try to do everything at once, because that sets you up for overwhelm, which leads to doing nothing. So those are the 3 things I wanted to share. 1, use fear about your weight and your body. Use what you're excited to achieve to pull you. 2, ditch the all or nothing mentality and just embrace moderation and a middle path that's going to serve you today and for the rest of your life. And then 3, get started. Don't wait for conditions to be perfect, because conditions will be perfect when you decide they're perfect. And that's what I wanted to share. So let me know if that helped you out. Let me know if you have questions. You can always reach out. And I do have a web class. It's happening. It happens regularly. Well, not that regularly, but it's happening tomorrow. So if you're like, wow, that was super helpful, I go deeper on my web class. So I teach each of those things, but in a really concrete way where you can take some action on it. And I share kind of more practical things you can do, especially when it comes to that all or nothing mentality. And so if you are interested in getting healthier, losing weight, feeling great, feeling confident, you do not want to go down the diet, all or nothing, extreme deprivation path. You feel in your heart that you deserve more, you're worthy of more, you're meant for more, you're meant to thrive in your body. You're not meant to struggle with your weight forever. If you feel that and you want some help and just learn, and you want to learn and get some inspiration heading into the fall, then come tomorrow, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. I will post the link below this video if you want to sign up for my masterclass. It's totally free. I would love to interact with you. You can ask questions. You get to see you get to see me. You can also leave your camera off if you don't want to see and be seen. But that is what I wanted to share. So thank you for watching. Let me know if you have questions, and I hope to see you on the free live class tomorrow. Bye for now.